there a salamander?
Oh, trying to think of all the special things about Womonwrites. Too numerous, but I guess the most special moment for me would be when I had the ritual here, scattering my sister's ashes in the lake. That takes some history. My sister Joanne died of AIDS at 45 in 1992. All of her life I felt pretty out of control with her drugs and alcohol, and always felt that she never really had a chance. I think I was one of the only people in my family who not supported her, but who felt like she had less control over this whole situation than she did. Like my youngest sister says, she made her bed and she slept in it, and I don't feel that way at all, because she met her alcoholic husband when she was 17. She was easily led, got right into drinking with him and having kids. There's just some things about her life that make me believe that. She never held a job more than 2 weeks in her entire life. She never drove a vehicle. She just never progressed. And I'm of the belief that when you get into that tornadic spiral of self-abuse and drug abuse and loss of self-respect, that you become handicapped, so to speak. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean, I just think that her self-esteem plummeted and could never recover. And so I couldn't change the problem, and in part I ran away from it, moved down to Florida, and it went on and on and on to where she was a 40-year-old crack addict. She had a baby at 41. The baby was placed with the father's parents. She had been in and out of programs, rehabs. Nothing ever worked, and there was her 15-year-old daughter who I ended up adopting. But all that being said, she died of AIDS, and I guess I made the decision to have her cremated because I wanted that insidious disease out of her once and for all, and that was the only way I thought that it would be gone. And
Sarah, you want to let Sarah talk a little bit about
sure.
the ceremony?
Well, I was just building up to how I came to bring her here.
Right.
Have the ashes here.
Mm-hmm.
I just always wished that she could have known Womonwrites, She knew women. She had a female lover for several years.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought her ashes here and asked women to participate in a ritual at the lake.
Mm-hmm.
It meant a lot to me to be a part of that. Mostly I remember the feeling of it. We were very quiet. It was very still at the lake and beautiful, and I know our hearts were just full with, tenderness, and I felt really connected to all the women. It felt like high ceremony to me, and you played those songs on the boombox, and we put flowers in the water, and there was a little bit of humor because we wanted the current to take the flowers out and away from us, and some of the flowers were just staying right there, so we were shooing them on.
I made a boat. I found a piece of driftwood that was shaped like a boat.
Yes.
And my girlfriend at the time surprised me by bringing in 24 carnations. It was a gift, and we used them in the ritual. And I made this boat and put carnations in it, and they were like in a fan. And I leaned down and sent this boat off, and the boat made a big U-turn, if you remember, and came right back. And the water was still like glass, and it just, I don't know why the boat came back. And there wasn't much going on in the way of wind or anything, and we all threw flowers in the water. But if you remember, when I scattered the ashes, they all flew back in my face. I was kneeling, and I had this leaf-shaped pewter scoop, and I scooped some ashes out and threw them out, and they all went. And it was like, we all laughed because I remember saying, "Oh, that's Joanne for you, in your face." That was just how she was, and the ashes all blew in my face, and I leaned into the water and scooped the water out of the lake and washed my face, and by then I was crying, and everyone was crying, and we sat in a circle afterwards and talked and processed about loss. And Sarah's got tears in her eyes now.